Alrighty, family. Alrighty, family. Hello, hello, hello. How are we doing today? All right. All right, family. Welcome to Blog Talk and welcome to YouTube. I am your host, Cassie, with Reconstruction 2020. It is time for us to do the work, the changing of the gods. If you're looking for me on Blog Talk, it's going to be under the changing of the gods. And the title for tonight, oh my goodness, we are in for a treat, a treat, a treat, a treat, a treat. You already know that, you guys. We are ready to do what we do, and we're going to make it do what it do tonight. And the topic for tonight is fighting. The changing of the gods for Blog Talk, but YouTube is fighting to stay in Egypt. Fighting to stay in Egypt. Wow, huh? That's something to think about, huh? Why are we fighting to stay in a country that's going to be destroyed? This week has been an amazingly busy week. I was supposed to come on Tuesday. I wasn't able to come on Tuesday. I've had family. So, family is, you have to do this, that, and the other. And I had some stuff to go on and, with my husband and stuff. So, no, couldn't do it Tuesday. I'm not even gonna say next Tuesday. I'm hoping to do next Tuesday. Maybe, well, it's holiday. So, well, holiday for some, not for me. But I'm just saying we're gonna try to come on next Tuesday, and we're gonna try to stick with Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 o'clock. I do appreciate everybody that comes to view our program, whether it's in live or rather it's during the week or after we're done with the broadcast. I do appreciate everybody that takes their time out to come and check us out and see what we got to say, because you don't have to. You could spend your time doing something else, but I do appreciate everybody that does check in. Blog Talk, let me give you the number if you want to call in, or you can catch us live on YouTube. And if you look on YouTube, you'll find it under the title that I just gave, Why Fighting to Stay in Egypt. Okay, Fighting to Stay in Egypt. Welcome, everybody, to the live and to the broadcast. And I want to give my Blog Talk viewers the phone number if you want to call in, and that's 563-999-3682. Again, that's 563-999-3682. And I do appreciate everybody that has come on and checking us out throughout the week. Numbers are growing. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I guess somebody want to hear what I got to say, huh? But thank you for joining. But like I said, the title is Fighting to Stay in Egypt. And I just don't understand why in the world we are fighting so hard to stay in a racist country. Now you all know, hey, howdy. Hey, Missy, how are you? We have to talk. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Um, why is it that Black folk is so scared to be free? Yeah, welcome, 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 welcome. Glad you called us. We just started, but I had a question. Why is it that we as Black folk are so afraid to be free? Why is it that when we see someone attempting to free us or attempting to take us to that level, we get so scared and we start fighting against each other? I mean, we start tearing it down, tearing everybody down, just tearing the person down. We tear each other down and we just go crazy. But I learned something. I saw something that happened this week and it blew my mind. And and I'm like, if we could just learn how to get on code, if we could just learn how to um, manage our emotions, if we could just learn how to transform this right here, because you have to understand, you guys, we've gone through 400 years of hell, trauma, 4 years, 400 years plus, right? Okay, of trauma, drama, rage, anger, and anything else. And not only was it done to us, but then we were taught the way it was given to us is the way we give it out, okay, to each other. We don't give it out to the enemy, we give it out to each other because they have taught you that you're your own enemy. That's why we act the way we act. We're off code. So now, if we take this time to start educating our own selves, educating our children, and include a code of behavior, because all that was taken away. They say Indians were captives and all these other people were held captives, but not for as long as us. And you have to understand a lot of stuff was done to us on purpose, like the Willie Lynch, the Stockholm syndrome. Those are real. And people don't even know about the Willie Lynch. And I'm like, are you kidding? I'm so surprised that you guys don't know. But my thing is, we have to understand why we act the way we act. In order to change the behavior, we first have to recognize the behavior. Okay. I saw an incident that happened this week and it blew my mind. We had a 17-year-old. Yes. And we're still being conditioned. That's why I keep telling people turn off the TV. You turn off that junk tube. You have to renew your mind. You have to really come away from all of this crazy stuff. You have to come away from the systems that set up. You have to come away and pull back a little bit in order to be free. If you don't pull back, or if you don't start really reading some books, and I'm gonna tell you, I've been reading this and it's an amazing book. I had to put it down because it's so real. It's so real, and you never, you know what? You don't really recognize what's going on until you really see it, until you really when you start looking for it. Okay, I've been reading a book called Understanding the Assault on the Black Man, Black Manhood, and Black Masculinity by Wesley Muhammad. And I'm telling you, this book is phenomenal. Oh my God. Every time I pick it up, I'm in tears because I see it. I see us in it. And it talked about it again, the title was Understanding the Assault on the Black Man, Black Manhood, and Black Masculinity by Wesley Muhammad. And I'm telling you, that book has changed my life, it's changed my thinking. And I think every person that's of color, Black folk, need to read this book. And it'll help you put some things in perspective so that we would help, that'll help us to recognize that there is something seriously wrong with us. And you know what? You can't even really blame us because we were in captive. We've been held for so long. I don't even think that we know that we're doing it. But let me tell you the incident that I saw this week. It was the 17-year-old. I'm sure you guys saw it too. The 17-year-old young man that whose mom dropped him off. White thug terrorist is what I call him. That's exactly what he is. His mom dropped him off with a loaded weapon. He lives in Chicago, Illinois. She drove from Illinois to Wisconsin, Kenosha, to for him because he wanted to protect some businesses. Go figure that one out. If my son get in the car and tell me, Mom, with a loaded weapon, and tell me, Mom, I want to go and I'm gonna go down to Kenosha or another state and I'm going to protect somebody's businesses, I'm gonna look at him like he crazy because I'm not gonna understand why you acting crazy. Let me go get you some help because something wrong with you. You're gonna tell me you want to take a loaded gun. You're 17 and you finna protect somebody's business that's don't even belong to you. Okay, we're not gonna even go there. I'm just saying. But you have to understand most parents right now are not parenting. They're allowing their children to parent them. When I seen what and when I saw this young man and this thug is what it more or less is not even a young man, it's a thug. When I heard the story and I saw what happened and how he was walking polite. I mean, he walked past the police and everything with a loaded AR-15, and he didn't. I mean, he might have looked because their kids look older. They look older to me anyway. He walks past the police, and everybody's telling this kid just shot somebody, which he did. He shot like three people. Two people died. Rioters. I call them rioters. And um, the police actually let him go home, and he went home and they arrested him at his home the next day. Now, what's wrong with that scenario? Because if he was black, you know, and I know that he would have been dead, or he would have went to jail, and he's going to be tried as an adult, and he would be put under the jail. And not only that, you know how many of us would have tore that young man apart. We would have dogged him out. We would have talked about him so bad that it would have been a shame, because the white folk don't have to tear us down. We tear it ourselves down. They don't have to do anything to us. We do it to ourselves. They don't have to say anything negative about us. We will say it for them about your own. All they have to do is come. One person has to do is come on the air and say, if he was black, oh, he's a shooter, he was a murderer, he was a gangbanger, blah blah blah. They try to dehumanize us. You know that. But all that person had to say was he deserved to die. And everybody black would have jumped on board and would have agreed with that person. Let me show you how these crackers, these devils work. You have a Christian foundation that has saved up $200,000 for this young man. Did you hear me? A Christian foundation that has saved up $200,000 for this young man's defense. You have attorneys coming out the woodwork that want to defend him. Your president Trump said that if he had not had the weapon, those protesters, though he called them rioters, those rioters would have killed him. For one, he shouldn't have had his behind out there. So therefore, he wouldn't have they wouldn't have been able to kill him because he wouldn't have been there for 2. I'm surprised he didn't say he was mentally ill. Oh, that's coming next. For 3, he never did condemn or con condemn the young man. So what do you think that they're creating for the future, you guys? They don't even understand that by them not punishing this young man and everybody was on Twitter, I was looking at Twitter, and I see one You guys, I do apologize for that. I don't know what is going on with my computer. It totally went out. It totally just lost everything. I don't know what's going on. My internet here at the house has been acting crazy today. I don't know why, but that's okay. We're going to continue on and we'll fix it later. How about that? We're not going to worry about it. As long as I got my you guys on here, so we'll go from there. I don't like using this because it looks weird, but that's okay. Um, just like I was saying, as far as Breonna Taylor, they want to dehumanize us and to make it seem like it's okay to murder us. And it's not okay. It's really not okay for you to just act like we don't exist. And, you can come in her house. You came in her house at 1 o'clock in the morning and the girl was, she was naked and, come on, you guys, 1 o'clock in the morning. That's how most people sleep. And for you to come in her house unannounced at 1 o'clock in the morning, her boyfriend did shoot. He did fire a shot, and they was trying to arrest the boyfriend for firing a shot. But like I was saying, Mitch McConnell, the DA is Mitch McConnell's in-laws. Okay, his granddaughter, Mitch McConnell's granddaughter, is married to the DA. So that's why we're not going to get any charges filed in the Breonna case. Okay, but we have to get to the place where we are changing our mindset. Because we know we can see that we have issues. Okay, there are things that we know that we need to work on, and instead of us working on those issues, we just keep on allowing things to just remain the same. We don't ever try to change anything. We know that in our family, in our Black family, that there are some really serious issues we're having right now. And instead of us taking care of those issues, we won't take care of them. We just allow things to go on without even trying to correct anything. You have to understand. I was looking at the Blake. Let's go back to the Blake, the Jacob Blake. I was looking at that, and I was looking at his mom, and I was looking at, the news conference that she had, and how she told the police officer that she forgave him. My thing is, this police officer shot your son for absolutely no reason, but you had another 18. You had the 17-year-old thug that was able to walk in front of police, and the police allowed this young thug to murder 2 people without arresting him that day. But Jacob, who didn't have a weapon, was shot in the back 7 times. Now let's really look at that. What does the number 7 mean, family? The number 7 means completion, right? Jacob means what? Jacob is what? Judah, right? You have to understand Jacob, Judah, 7 times completion. Sometimes God does stuff to give us a message as far as where we are in all of this. I do believe that Jacob Blake is going to walk. I do believe that. I do believe that. Let me know if you guys can. I'm trying to see if you guys can see that I'm on. Yeah, okay, I'm on. Okay, you guys. But my thing was, we have to get to the place where we are trying to fix us. Just like we're getting ready to go out here and vote. For what? What are we voting for, you guys? For somebody that's not going to do anything for us. But it's up to us. If we are going to change our situations, family, it is going to be up to us. It makes me really upset because when I go online and I see different situations, like for instance, Jacob Blake, how he died. I mean, he didn't die, but sorry, how he was shot. And I saw even the media tried to make him feel completely cut out. Okay. Hey, 504. Okay, sounds good. Okay. There you go. Okay, yep, 504. Yes, we keep voting for our demise. But I think more of us are waking up now, more so this election than ever before. I think we're getting to the place that we're tired. I think now we're getting to the place where we're ready to see change. And I know we still have some old Moses that's, stuck back in the day, stuck back in the 50s, stuck back in when John Lewis was getting his head beat in. Okay, that was okay for them. But the new generation, that's not okay for us. That's not okay for some of us. That's like, I'm not taking that. You're not coming over here doing any harm to me. I'm just saying, it's time for us to get it together mentally,
to get to the point where we're saying we're not doing that. We have to change things to ourselves, but we have to start. We have to almost like we have to pull others along with us. You know how some people are fighting to stay. We're fighting to stay in Egypt. You know, just like even when in the biblical story where they did come out of Egypt, you still had some that were saying, "Oh my God, we did this, we did that, we had this, and we had that," and they was thinking of all the good stuff, but they forgot the bad, and they actually wanted to turn back around and go back. And I'm like, "Are you crazy? You have 400 years of slavery. You have 400 years of trauma, pain. You have 400 years of being up under your enemy, and you want to go back." That's how we are right now. It's time for us to be free. And this is a shift for us. And we don't even recognize the shift. This right here is a shift. It is time for us to make that shift, you guys. But we're not making that shift. We're staying stuck. It's almost like I've talked to a girlfriend of mine, and I was like, "Well, what have you been doing since you've been off?" And she said, "Well, I'm just waiting to go back to work." And I'm like, "What?" I said, "You did." Now this is a caterer. She can cook her behind off. And I've been trying to get her to step out, do like, Friday dinners, or find you a place. For instance, I said, "Come up to where I work and I'll get some orders for you and you can bring some orders there," right? People love to eat. We love to eat. And I'm like, "That's a start." And I said, "You should never complain about not having any money." I said, "You have a gift and your gift is cooking. If you have a gift, there is never a time when you can't make some money. If you have a gift and you're working in that gift, and there's never a time when you shouldn't, because God said your gifts make room for you. Okay. So that means that if there is something that you're really good at, now was the time for you to step out in it and start your own business. It doesn't take much. We had $1,200 that they gave us. Okay. Quote unquote. I know people didn't pay bills with that money. I've seen one man in Walmart with a 50-inch TV. Okay. So he spent his on TV. But I'm just saying that was time right there that you could have kept some of that money, at least 500, and pooled your monies together with other people, like-minded people that wanted their own business, and you guys could have created your own. And you still can. You still can. But my thing is, this world as you know it, it's never going to be it's never going back to the way it was. Never. Never, 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 never. Never. So it's time for you to make up your mind that you're going to do something different. My thing is, we have to get to the place where um, we can look out for each other better. You know what I'm saying? Well, I remember somebody said, "Am I my brother's keeper?" And my answer is yes, we are our brother's keeper. Just like they are watching out for their own, just like white folk is on code with that young thug, the 17-year-old thug. That is, everybody is. I'm telling you, I didn't see one comment and I keep going back to that because I'm looking at this and I'm like, I didn't hear one bad comment about him. I didn't hear that, "Oh my God, his mom should be shaming herself. She took her son with a loaded AR-15 out and he shot some rioters." I didn't hear that. I heard everybody was saying, "Oh, he was defending himself." And I'm like, "No, he's a murderer. He's not defending anything. He went premeditated that murder. That was premeditation. And I hope they give him the right charges." But my thing is, see, this is how we could learn something. And I don't mean to, try to make black folk feel bad, but we could learn something for that. If you don't learn nothing else, learn how to be on code. They're showing you now how to be on code. That right there is on code. I've never seen anything like it. I remember when Kobe died and how one person said something and 15,000 black folk jumped on the bandwagon of one negative comment that was made about him by a white person, of course. And 15,000 black folk chimed in. And I'm like, this is not the place. You don't ever go against your own for them. We never should go against our own for anybody that don't look like us. And I tell people that, at work we have one guy and he's African and he's really slow. He is. So a new girl came up to me and she goes, "Oh, Cassie, so and so is super slow." And she's white. And I looked at her and I said, "Honey, that man been here 25 years. He can be slow as he wants to be. You've been here 2 weeks, but he is 25 years over your 2 weeks. So if he wants to be slow, he deserves to be slow. You can't because you've been here 2 weeks." But I'm just saying, she thought, you have to understand, she was so used to black folk jumping on the bandwagon with her that she thought I was going to jump on there. And I looked at her, I'm not the one. I'm not one of them. They know. I explain to people. I show them. I don't explain to them. I show them. Every time I can help my own at work, I'm right there. Every time I can do something for my own, I'm right there. We have to change on purpose, you guys. We have to change our mindset on purpose. Hey, Jay, welcome. Thanks for joining, Jay. Thanks for joining 504. We have to change our mindset on purpose. It is going to take us, if we want to be free, if we are tired of looking and hearing and seeing what we're hearing and seeing, it is going to take us doing the work. And and I know it's only a certain amount, a few. No, it's not even a few. I think it's more that want change than don't. I think it's more of us. We have to get with like-minded people and go after the change that we want to see. We have to actually be that change. Some of us on here can run for office. Some of us can run for mayors. Some of us can run for city council. Some of us can run for the school board. We can run for these offices, but we have to get to the place where we are backing each other, because we've gotten to the place where we just automatically think that white supremacy is going to save us. White supremacy is not going to do anything for you. That's why they're looking at us, and they always need us every 4 years. And then what do you get in between those 4 years? What do you get? Show me one law that was written for Black people by anybody, any one president, whether they're Republican or Democrat. And a lot of people look and they go, well, Trump not doing anything. Trump is not supposed to do anything for you guys. You guys are not Republicans. Most Black folk are Democrats for whatever reason. They don't understand the history of the Democrat. That's why they're Democrats. But seeing that we don't understand the history, and seeing that most Black folk are devoted Democrats. But you have to understand, you have to look and say, okay, I've been devoted to them for 40, 60 years, right? I've been devoted to them for 60 years. What has this devotion gotten me? Anything? We have to really look at that. You can't say, well, okay, well, who gonna vote for? Why would we vote for anybody? Why not vote locally? Locally works. Locally, you can change things locally. Then federally, you can't change. Really, you don't have a say federally, because federally, they already know who they're going to choose federally. You already know that, right? Federally, they're going to choose their own. They've already chosen. They're not going to allow people like us to choose their president. They know that they need to choose somebody that's on code, and they have to choose somebody that's going to keep their agenda going. Okay, so you have to understand that it's all about their agenda. So all of them are tied in. It's not just one over the other. All of them are going to do the same thing, and that's ignore Black people. So you know that that's what it's all about. You guys know that we had another shooting today in DC. No, it was last night in DC. Little 18, he was 18. He just turned 18 3 weeks ago, which was sad. His name was, what was his name? Dijon Kezi? Nope, that wasn't him. I'm sorry. That was another one. Hold on, let me see. What was his name? What was that little boy's name? What was the little boy's name? His name, he was Dion. I think his name was Dion K, and he was 18, and he was shot in Southeast last night, which is so sad. But it's sometimes I look at it and I think, yeah, it's trying to push us out. He's trying to push us out. But we're sitting there, we're scared, we're looking around, we're like, okay, it wasn't my family this time. But what if it is? Why aren't we doing something? Instead of us looking around to say, okay, who's next? No, we're not going to say who's next, because I don't want to be next. I don't want one of mine to be next. What are we willing to do in order to stop all of this? Because it's almost like it's happening every other day. Every day, somebody's getting shot by a police officer, right? Before, when we was marching, we was protesting, what was they doing? They stopped, right? For like, what, 4 months? Nobody was getting shot. Now it's every day now. What are we going to do? We have to decide, what are we going to do, because it's getting more and more frequent, you guys. I mean, what about the panhandler that was shot in by Trader Joe's, okay, in front of Trader Joe's? He was asking the two white women for money, and they kind of ignored him. But a white passerby saw him, and he, shouted to, he was white. He asked him, yelled at him to get away from those girls like that. And I don't know what was said, but he shot the man point blank. He shot him. So my thing is, you have to understand, these white folk ain't playing. I remember a time, maybe 30 years ago, that they were scared of us. They were scared to say anything to us. But now, man, it's almost like we didn't change roles with them. I remember a time in high school, we they didn't pop their little they wouldn't hmm, hmm. They wouldn't even think about saying nothing. They wouldn't think about looking our way now, right? We have to understand what's going on. It's almost like the roles are reversed, but we've been so passive for so long. We don't even want to do anything. We don't even want to do anything different. We've been passive for so long, you guys, that we are just like hoping and praying it's not us, that we're not next. But what if it is? What are we willing to do? What are we willing to do? Why is it that so many people are so against NFAC? I keep going back to that because I see him doing something. I see him doing the work. I see he's trying to get us free. I see that. So why are we so afraid to do anything? Why are we so afraid to um to move forward? I was looking up he is willing to put his life on the line, which he has. And so many Black folk have came against this brother. It's so sad because I see him putting his life on the line. And he wants us to build a defense nationwide. And do you not know we won't do that? We are so busy fighting against the process that we won't do it. I want to talk a little bit about I know we talked about, um, I really want to talk about the contract that Ice Cube, I think that's his name. I get my Ice T, Ice Cube, Ice somebody. I'm sorry, I shouldn't make fun of his name, but he has a contract. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit. Contract with Black folk. That's what it's called. I don't know if anybody has seen it, but I wanted us to read it over a little bit tonight. Um, and I think it's a good contract. I just don't know if he has the right people on it on the case. I really would have wanted to see Dr. Claude Anderson on this, on the on this on this contract thing. I really would have wanted to see Dr. Claude Anderson on there because he's so amazing. And I think if he had used a lot of Dr. Claude Anderson, he's already got it done. He's already doing the work. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pull it. I want to pull it up so that we can see what is the contract all about. Let me see. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I want to go there. Hold on. I want to see. Because I think it's a really great idea. And I think it's something we should look over to be sure that this is something that we want to do. Can a man comment on NFAC? Oh my goodness, I can't. Why am I not able to pull this up? Hold on. Let me go into it another way because I think this is a really good. I was reading over it a little bit earlier. And I just want to read over it. I just want to see because I've read over it a little bit and it said contract with Black America .us. That's where I'm going to get it from if I can ever get on here to see. Because I think it's a good idea. I think it's going to be something very good for us. Let's see if this is it. Hold on. Okay, here it is here. It's well, the introduction is they have reparations. They have like 13 modules on here, and it talks about the lending reform. Then they have the federal funding, federal reserves, the finance oversight, data and credit, prison reform, Judicial Reform, Police Reform Act. Oh, okay. FCC licensing. What's that? Confederate Institutions, AJP program, and Black responsibility. Wow, this is really looks like it's going to be a pretty good thing to check out. I'm gonna just go talking about the let's see what the representatives bill to guarantee Black opportunity and representation. Oh, okay. It says adopt a plan of neo reconstruction to redress past wrongs systematically imposed on Black America economically throughout many generations that has resulted in a wealth gap where the average white family has 10 times the wealth of the Black family. In addition to some of the economic initiatives listed below, also formally apologize to Black America. I don't care about no apology. I just want you to cut the check. That's all I'm saying. Okay, from past discrimination and slavery, additional Black opportunity and representation will include affirmative actions in schools, public schools, private schools, per student funding in states of an equal basics instead of paid by local property taxes. What do you think? I think we need separate schools. I understand what he's wanting to do, but I still don't think that it's going to be because anytime you're doing anything with white folk, they always have to have the upper hand. We know that, right? So I'm understanding the bill, and I wish you guys, if you can, pull this thing up. It says a contract with Black America us. That's what it is. But I'm looking on here, and it says Black representation of all governments, civil rights bodies, civil rights class mandatory in elementary schools, gerrymandering reform, additional polling places why are we doing okay, why do we need additional polling places? I don't think if we're going to vote, like I said, it should be locally, but I also think that we should have like a separate but equal government. I think we have to have somebody in office is going to look after our best interests. Okay. Let's see. And it says minority neighborhoods. He wants to make Juneteenth to become a federal holiday. Okay, this is what he's saying in his representation. Okay, and the lending reform, which is the bank lending reform, bank lending will be regulated to require banks to lend percentages of all loans and credit categories on an equal basis to the Black population each bank serves. However, the minimum threshold must yearly meet the percentage equal to the national Black population, currently approximately 13.4% rates on Black loans federally and from banks to be same some average rates as whites, the same average rates. Okay, let's see. I mean, my thing is we have to make sure. My thing is, why are we trying to? I understand the contract, right? But is it really going to matter? Do you really think that they're going to honor a contract with us? They won't even give you reparations. Why is it that we think that we can come up with a 13-page document? Okay, I'm not trying to go against it. I'm really not. I don't want to go against it, but I'm saying, why are we fighting to stay in a country that's not even ours? Yes, we built it, but was it ours in the beginning? No. So why are we really fighting to stay in a country that's being destroyed? I don't want to build up anything here and then lose it. You understand what I'm saying? If you guys know who we are and where we are and all of the scope of things, I think we would understand that right now it's not time to build up anything. People are so confused right now that they don't even understand the time frame of where we are, why we're where we are. They don't understand it. They don't understand the seriousness of where we are right now. Do you not know? I keep talking about this. We are getting ready to go into the biggest recession, inflation ever. I'm telling you, if you guys, and we're going to talk about this next week, we're going to talk about the emergency kits. We're going to talk about what we need to have. You need to have water. You need to have shelter, like your tents. We're going to have a list of stuff that we need to make sure that we are ready for what's coming. Because if they shut down everything today, do you guys have money? Do you guys have silver? Do you guys have anything that to tie you over for at least 3 to 6 months as far as food wise? What if they come to you and they say, okay, everybody that don't take the vaccine, we're gonna put you in FEMA camps. If you have to hit the woods, do you have a bag packed by the door, packed somewhere to where you can grab that bag and go? And I'm telling you, don't get no canned goods thinking you're gonna take canned goods into the woods with you. You're gonna attract some things. So you should have food it's a special food that's packed. You should have that special food that comes in those kits, okay, that's already packed, already ready, and you can just eat on that. Don't go out in the woods thinking you finna cook a whole gourmet meal out there in the woods and you're not gonna attract some animals around you. I'm just saying. Don't think you do. You have your weapon? Do you have your ammunition? Do you have stuff that's going to take? What if you're out in the woods for 2 days or 3 days or even a week? Are you ready for that, family? We have to understand we're looking at this country and we're looking at it go and it's going down, down, down. And people don't even understand how serious we are and how serious we are and where we at right now. We are at a very serious space here. And I don't think we understand that. I don't think we understand that um, we're getting ready to go into a reset. And what the reset is, they want to get rid of fiat money. They want to get rid of us using money. Hold on, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make sure that I'm plugged in because my battery's going down on my computer. Okay. We have to understand that the economy right now, silver and gold is at an all-time low. Okay, silver it was going to outdo gold. I mean, gold is higher right now, and it is high. It's like thousands of dollars to get, like, what I think 15, 13 to $1,500 for a piece of silver, a gold. I'm sorry, and silver is going to outlast gold. So my thing is, I've really been investing just in silver. Okay, because like I said, this is Black folks' time to do a reset. This is Black folks' time to get their wealth. And if you don't take this opportunity, family, you're going to be lost. You're going to be in trouble. This is our time right now to concentrate on our future. And sometimes it may even include leaving America. And I know a lot of Black folk, we aren't even thinking like this. We're thinking, oh my God, we're going to be here forever. But we're going to have an opportunity to leave America. And if you don't go, you're going to die with the rest of them. And people, and see, this is a training that we weren't taught in churches. We weren't taught about the culture. We weren't taught who we are. We don't even know some Black folk don't even know that you're the chosen. Some Black folk don't even know that you are the people in the Bible that walked 40 years, okay, which only should have took 4 days, but because of us being hard-headed, it took 40 years. Okay, and most of them died. The older ones, like the John Lewises and the Elijah Cummings and waiting on Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton, I guess now, because them coons right there is just, they're terrible. I can't believe that they march with MLK and they are so coonish. I know MLK is just twisting in his grave. Can't wait till them niggas get there. I'm serious, because guess what? They have not done anything to improve Black anything. Our family, I'm sorry, our family wise, they've not improved anything as far as communications, family wise, the responsive relationship between one another. And this is something that our pastor should have been teaching us. We should have been learning the code of behavior from where? From our churches, because that's where most Black people spend a lot of their time, right? We didn't learn a code of behavior in our churches. We didn't learn our heritage. We didn't even learn our culture, did we? Why? That's what it was for. Yes. And guess what? But my thing is, you think he's not paying for that. You think that dude ain't paying for that every day of his life, because he's working for the enemy right now. They've taken care of him for years. But guess what? When they get done, he's no good now. So he's no threat. So he good now. He ain't no threat. But everybody that was a threat is dead. Okay. I even talk about even I love me some Farrakhan. I'm sorry, you guys. I do. I love him. But he wasn't a real threat because he's still alive. And I look at that and I said, everybody that was a threat, they killed. So why didn't they kill Farrakhan? Why do you guys think that they didn't kill Farrakhan if he wasn't a threat? If he was a threat, they didn't mess with him. Why? He's been around for ages, and he said that they did try to kill him, but he lived. But my thing, we have to get to the point, you guys, where if it's time to leave, are you prepared to leave? Are you ready, or can you go? There is a program at Blacksit. and this is BLAXIT. Okay, BLAX, and then put a space in IT. She's got a web page, and she is offering for people to move to the diaspora for free. Okay, all you have to do is fill an application, and all you have to be is you have to be from there. You know what I'm saying? Like an African descent. That's all. That's the requirement. And they'll give you a certain amount of money, and you might have to pay it back. But if you're gonna stay, they will give you enough money for a hotel. They'll give you enough money to rent out a place. They have a program. So if you guys are thinking about it, and I think we should be thinking about what's the future. What's the future here? What is the future? Why are we fighting to stay in a country just going to be destroyed? And stop sending your children to fight for this country. 13%. It's like what? How many percentage is black people? It's like is it like maybe is it like 16%? I think black people in America, 16, 17, somewhere up in there, right? Of black people in America. But like 14% of our children are in the service. Why? We're fighting their wars. We are sending our children to fight for a country that hate them, to fight for another country's freedom when you're not free yourself. I never understood that. Why would we go to a service and fight for this country? We're fighting for this country. Let them send their children. They're not sending their children. Yes. Khalid, yes, Khalid, yes, he was. He was a threat. That's why he's not here no more. And I do believe that they killed him, but we'll never. You remember the attorney? What was the man name who defended um who was that guy? Who? Oh my God, I'm not good at sports, but he OJ Simpson. OJ. He defended him. What was that attorney's name? Remember? I do believe that they killed him. Oh, you think it's higher than 13%? Okay, 40%? You think it's 40% white folk, black folk in America? I don't know if it's 40%, but I know a lot of us send our children to the service to fight for these crackers. We send our children to fight their wars. And what do? They kill our children. No, stop sending your children. Stop it. We have to understand what's going on. We have been so programmed, you guys, and we are not taking the time out to back up and look at things the way they are. Look at the way things are. Look at some of the stuff that we do. Look at how we will step out and protect them, and we will go off on our own for them. I've seen it so many times. I seen on Facebook where this white police officer was actually arresting this black guy. And another black guy came up and started fighting his own for the police officer. That right there is sick. That's crazy. That's sick behavior. That's called Stockholm Syndrome. We want to care about our enemies. We want to make sure that they're okay, but we're suffering and we'll allow our kinfolk or our children to suffer to save theirs. That's called Stockholm Syndrome, you guys. That's called Stockholm Syndrome. Why are we doing that? We have to, on purpose, stop the behavior. It's up to us if we are going to be free. And I wish that there was a class or something that we could go to. I don't even know if that would help, but it's something that we have to do to be able to recognize when we're walking in that Stockholm syndrome. I think we have been so traumatized. And when they show it every day on TV, that just traumatizes us more. That traumatizes us more. We have been so traumatized. Can you imagine the PTSD and all of the trauma that's in us? This is why we think what we think and how we think and the why we think the way we think. Because of all of the trauma and the hatred and the rage and all of the name calling, all of us. And this is why some of us, some of the black folk that I see, the coons, they want they want to please massa so bad that they will actually, you know how a dog, you come to a door, and if the dog is there or in the yard, he'll bark and then he'll look back at the master to see if the master is coming to the door. He's like, I'm doing my job, master. Do you see me? And he'll look back. Haven't you seen dogs do that when you drive up on the property and the dog is out front? He'll come to the, come up to your car and he'll bark at you. Then he'll look back to see if the master sees us. It's almost like that's what we're doing. It's almost like we are so hurt. We are so trained mentally that we've been in this system since babies. We have to understand we went to school with them. They trained us in school. So a lot of who we are, we've allowed them to infiltrate us. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I seen on Facebook the other day, Nisi. Okay, this black woman. I think she's been married like 3 or 4 times to a man. I saw where she married a woman. We have really taken on our enemies' characteristics. It's some things that we can't do because of who we are. We can't, they can do whatever they want to do. They're already damned. They're done. But we cannot do what they do. But you have to understand, by them introducing us to sin, we bring stuff down on us. By them treating us the way they've treated us, and then we turn around and step out and do what they have been doing, like all this homosexual. I remember a time we wouldn't even, that wasn't something that we did in our culture, but I see more and more of us doing it, and I'm like, you guys, they can do that. That's why we're in the predicament that we're in now, suffering with all of this trauma because of us being disobedient. You have to go back in your history to understand who you are and why are we in the predicament that we're in. And once you do your homework, there's a movie for Hebrews to Negroes, and Ron Dalton is the producer. Need to look that movie up. That will help you to understand, and you can get it on Vimeo. Okay, it's called From Negroes to Hebrews, and you'll Hebrews to Negroes. You guys, I'm sorry, Hebrews to Negroes. You have to understand what's going on in order to solve a problem. You have to know that and we have to be honest that there is a problem. We have to be honest that we suffer as a people tremendously. I mean, to the point where it's sickening. It's sickening. Just like you had the guy with the dog. I mean, with the woman and the dog in the park with the guy, and how he said, "No, I'm not going to press charges because he was gay and he wanted access to a white man." I guess he did. He said no. She had suffered enough, and he wasn't going to file charges. And I'm looking at him like, "Are you serious?" She almost, just think, if she had called the police and the wrong cop had came out there, he would have been dead, right? So why do you think that he chose not to call, or why do you think he chose not to pursue charges on her? Because I'm gonna tell you what, I'm not forgiving nothing. If anything ever happened to me, I'm not forgiving nothing. Y'all need to know that, and we're gonna tear it up, we're gonna burn it all down. I'm just saying. So some of these people sitting up here, like Jacob's mom, oh, Jacob wouldn't want you. My daughter, you ain't got never worry about my daughter saying, oh, my mom wouldn't want you to protest. She wouldn't want you to riot. She wouldn't want you to burn nothing down. No, my daughters would be like, my mom would want you to burn this down. I'm just saying, you ain't never got to worry about that. Strange for you ain't never got to worry about that. My kids would be burn it down because this was what my mom would have wanted. Burn it down till you ain't no parts left. I'm just saying, all of this forgiveness, but you have to understand we are conditioning them because now we dehumanize ourselves, you guys. When we sit up there and they do blowing your heads off and they shoot your son 7 times, then they turn around and cripple him. He can't walk, he can't, control his bowels or whatever, and he's laying in the bed. Then you allow them to come and handcuff your child to a bed, and he can't get up and walk. Are you freaking kidding me? Do you think I would have let them in my son's room to handcuff anybody? You are not coming up in here. I don't care. My thing is, we have to stand. We are so busy trying to keep confusion because we don't want to cause, we don't want people to think we're racist. We don't want people to think that we don't like white folk. I don't care what they think. I show them on purpose at work that I don't like them. I show them on purpose. Because when the black folk come up to me, want some help, I help them. White folk come, I let them like, okay, and keep moving. Because guess what? That's not my concern. And I tell them this, and we talk all the time. One girl came up to me and we were talking one day, and she said, Cassie, is there one white person here that you trust enough And when she didn't even get that word out of her mouth. When she said trust enough, nope, there's not one. Absolutely not. Well, I don't know why you asked me that. That's what, I was like, I don't know why you even asked me that because you already know the answer to that. I said, why would I trust you guys when you guys talk about each other? And then you come over here and talk to me about each other. Why would girl, please, why would I trust any of y'all? See, y'all all have they have trauma. Can you imagine you looking up when you were little and you right, okay, right. And you see them hanging a person on a tree and they burning the body alive. Can you imagine what that must have did to them inside? Can you imagine seeing that? Can you imagine experiencing that for yourself? I can't imagine. Can you imagine the trauma that was attached to that for a child, 11-year-old? And I remember the postcard that came out with this 11-year-old little girl was looking up at a man that they had just hung and they burned him alive. Can you imagine the trauma that they have passed down in their lineage from generation to generation? My husband was had went through some things this weekend, and I had to go to the hospital with him. And the lady came in, and she was white, of course, and oh, I like Aaron. I don't have a problem with black people. I just wish all of this right. She just went to singing the song, and I was waiting on it because I'm getting ready to tear you apart right now. I let her say what she wanted to say, and I asked her, so let me ask you a question. I said, when your son leaves the house, I said, are you afraid that you would never see him again? And she went to hen and hawing. I said, hold on. Answer the question. I said, when your son leaves home, are you afraid that you will never see him again? And she thought about that thing and she know what answer to give me. And I asked her again. And she said, no, I'm not. She said, no. She said, I'm not afraid. I have no reason to be. I said, but guess what? I said, we feel that every time our son or whoever leaves the home, that we'll never see them again. I said, but until you walk in our shoes, you would never understand what we go through. I said, I know you can sit up here and you can talk about this white and owned slaves, but you're enjoying the attachments to owning a slave, generational attachments, generational wealth that your family got by owning slaves. And because I asked her, I said, well, did your family own slaves? She goes, yeah. I said, well, you're enjoying the wealth off of your ancestors owning slaves. She said one thing. She said, you know what? She said, I do believe, because I said something about this country and this country being destroyed, and this country I'm getting ready to face some horrible times. And I said, and a lot of people are not going to understand that it's the sins of the father that this country is getting ready to experience, the sins of the fathers. And she looked and she said, you know what, you could be right. And then she began to tell me what was going on in her family, how this one committed suicide and this one this brother killed the one brother. It was terrible. I mean, lineage wise, we're talking like 4 to 5. Hers went from 4 to 5 generations. So I'm like, oh my God, it went way back. Okay. This sister had this son and this son killed this son. And this uncle killed himself and the sister killed. It was terrible. And she said, I guarantee you that was from um, them treating the slaves bad. And I said, I guarantee you it was too. I said, if your grandfather or your family had slaves in the lineage and they treated them like crap, yes, that is a part of what you're experiencing now. And she said to her daughter was going to do research on that. And I'm like, you should, but you can't do nothing about it. I said, because you guys have been lied to. Because religion, Christianity has lied. I mean, come on, you got the Christian folk that's telling you that Trump is a God-fearing man. Oh my God, what God are you talking about? And then you got a Christian group that's backing a 17-year-old thug terrorist that just shot and murdered 2 people, that they're backing him with money. So this goes to show this Christianity thing ain't hitting on nothing. So I don't even understand why we're the only, I think totally black folk and white folks serve 2 totally different gods. So when I look at them and I understand Caesar Borgia and I understand how white folk, they don't think anything like us as far as the old Christians, because I do know some Christians, and I look at the black Christians and I see how forgiving they are, and I see them, oh my God, and they are going out of their way to be nice to white folk, right? But then when they come to you, they look at you like you crazy. Okay, I got more to prove to them than I got more, to prove to you, which is how they act, right? But I look at the white Christian evangelicals and I look how evil, I look how hateful, I look at how now they're supporting the 17-year-old. I look at how they're still racist. And I look at Paula White and I look at how she went to the Republican Nationals and I looked at the prayer and I was listening to the prayer she, prayed. And I'm like, lady, you are so off focus. You'll have no revelation. I mean, sitting up there praying a prayer and God bless America. And I'm like, don't you know that America is getting ready to be destroyed? I mean, this is the prayer that I was hearing, and I heard a lot of just, it was just so sad and the way she was, like building this country up. And I'm like, girl, lady, you need to open your eyes and really get with Caesar Borgia and see what's going on, because that's who they serve. And you ain't gonna tell me we serve the same God. You ain't gonna tell me that, because Black Christians act totally different than white Christians. I don't care what you say. I mean, the hatred, they will go out of their way. Like Botham Jeans, they were so Christian. They went to a white church, and they went out of their way to prove to America that they loved that white girl, and they patted, they would just hug it, and they were just all over. And I'm looking at this, and I'm like, how do you forgive somebody like that? That it's not for her, it's for you. I understand that, but I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell the public. I'm not going to tell national TV that I forgave this white girl that blew my brother away and didn't even try to save him, because she was in the hall talking on the phone to her partner, trying to get her story straight. So she wasn't in that house, pumping, trying to do CPR or anything else to save Botham Jean, because she was on the phone the whole time, walking back and forth. So we know she didn't even try to save him. So my thing is, but I often ask people, I said, okay, let me ask you this: if Amber Geiger was Black and she would have shot into a white boy's house, do you think she would have gotten 10 years? They would have fried her behind. Just like those two police officers that, the white guy, these were two cops. They was going to arrest the white guy. He literally was aiming for them, was in a car. He was trying to run them over, right? And his son was in the back seat. I don't know if they knew the son was there, but by him coming toward them, trying to run them over, the two officers shot into the car and killed the little boy. He was 6. Now, this dad had, um, yes, they do think they're God, unfortunately. This dad they was arresting him on a warrant. He had a rap sheet long as my arm, right? I mean, he was just a lifelong criminal. But during that trial, they never once brought up that white boy's record. They never brought up why they had to shoot into the car. They never brought up anything about the white dude running away from them and trying to run them over to get away from them, because they was coming to arrest him. They never said anything about the white dude. They only talked about the two police officers, and they dogged them out. And even Black folk were dogging them out. And I'm like, are you serious? If that was the other way around, and those police officers would have shot into that car and killed that Black boy and his baby, or killed that child in the back seat, which has happened before. But this was, remember the SWAT team that went into the wrong address, and the little girl was 7. Atiana, I think her name was, it starts with A. I can't remember her name, but the little girl was sleeping on the couch, and the grandma was there, and they was looking for somebody at the wrong address, and that wasn't even the address the boy lived at. Okay, the address was 2 streets over, but they had broke into the grandma's house and shot the little baby on the couch. She was 7, killed the baby. Do you not know they had a hung jury twice? And do you not know eventually a Black woman judge dropped the charges on that police officer? So he served no jail time. Literally no jail time. It was the wrong house. I don't know how in the world he got away with that. He got away with murder. And he was sitting up in court and he was fine. This grandma was broken. It was disgusting. I'm gonna tell you. It just, see stuff like that. It just blows me away. And this is why I'm telling you these stories, because I want you to help me to understand, why is it that all of this that I've said, all of the 18-year-old, the 17-year-old, then you had a guy that was, this one right here should blow you away. The 29-year-old. Okay, let's talk about the 29-year-old John Kezie, Kizzee. Okay, he was 29. He was riding a bicycle. We're not talking about a motorcycle. We're talking about a bike with pedals, with wheels and a chain. Okay, the police stopped him, pulled him over for a vehicle violation. What? A vehicle violation. He got off the bike and he ran. He probably had warrants or whatever. We don't know. I'm not gonna do that because I don't know. But my thing is, he probably was running away from them because he knew, if I stop, it's gonna be something and I'm gonna die. So first thing you do, black folk, we run. When we see police officers, we run because nothing ever good comes out of our encounters with police. We always die. That's her name. Yes. Ayana. Yes. Septia. Yes. That's her name. Yes. That was the 7-year old. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Boy, I'm bad with these names. I knew it started with an A though. I had a little bit of it. Thank you. But but the guy ran. This was we talking about the 29-year-old, okay? He was on a bicycle. We're not talking about he didn't have an engine. He didn't have a motor. He was on a bike with pedals, okay? They stopped him for a vehicle violation. What kind of a vehicle violation? You had no reason to stop this man. What his what he didn't have no reflectors on his bike? What? He didn't have a helmet? What? He didn't have knee pads on? What? What was the reason that you stopped this man for? They called it a vehicle violation. They shot him and killed this man because they said when he was running, he dropped he dropped a gun. It doesn't matter. It was on the ground. So why did you shoot him? It was on the ground. Even if he had a gun, we can carry guns. White folk carry guns all the time. That 17-year-old had a loaded AR-15, walked past the police. The police gave him water and he still lived. So why is it that you were threatened with this 29-year-old running away from you? Jacob was walking away from you. Brianna was naked in her house, in her bed. Botham Jean was sitting on his couch. Now, Sandra Bland was in her car. Trayvon Martin was walking. I'm just saying, why is it that these unarmed black folk, even the ones Castro was the Philando Castile. Okay, I got it right. Philando, he told the officer that he had a weapon, did he not? And what happened? The officer shot into the car at least what 7 or 8 times. Why? He wasn't even reaching for it. You told him to get his license. Him being obedient to white folk, obeying commands, reached to get his license because you told him to, and you shot him for absolutely no reason and you got off of it. So why are we fighting to stay in a country that hates you? Why are we fighting to stay in a country that shows you every single day of your life how they feel about you? But not only that, they're teaching our children. We have our enemies teaching our children. Now is the time for us to get our children away from them. They have virtual school training. My granddaughter is going to a Muslim school, and it's in another state, and they're online teaching her. My thing is, why aren't we doing this more often? Why are we not putting our children into black owned schools? If we want to change some things, it's going to take us changing our children's mindset. It's going to take us changing our mindset. It's going to take us being honest with ourselves and getting some help because we are sick. We are sick individuals. But I don't think we understand how mentally ill we are. Can you be mentally ill and not know it? Can you be crazy really and not know it? I think we are so ill that we've been acting like this for so long, you guys, that we don't even know that we're ill. We don't even recognize it anymore. We don't even think anything is wrong with the way we're acting. We don't even think twice about talking negative about your brother. I was reading a post the other day and they was dogging out Brianna. And I heard one young lady on there say, you guys, this is not the place for this conversation. Because I mean, the white folk on there, and it was almost like they were saying she deserved to die. How do you deserve to die when you're laying in your bed sleep? How is it that you deserve? What is in their mind? I don't think they're looking at the situation. They're looking at her black skin. Because you can't be looking at the situation and say, oh, yeah, she deserved to die. But that 19-year-old, you're going to take up for him when he murdered 2 rioters? He murdered them. He murdered them. They probably would have beat his tail out there with their gun and take it from him. But he murdered them. And they said that they defended him. But nobody can defend Brianna. Nobody can defend her for the police knocking her door in at 1 in the morning when she was probably in the bed sleep, trying to get ready for the next day for work. And they came through her door and shot her dead. She probably wasn't even thinking about, oh, I might die tonight. Who thinks, everybody go to bed and you think, okay, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and it's gonna be a great day. I'm gonna go to work. I'm gonna do this. She probably had her week plan, her month plan, her year plan, probably had her life plan. I'm gonna go back to school. I'm gonna be a nurse. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Probably had her life plan. And because she was black, her life was cut short. And nobody, you got a black DA that does not think of himself enough to defend his own. He would rather defend his white wife, Mitch McConnell's granddaughter. He in the family, he in the mix. He don't want to do anything to ruin that relationship. So you're gonna Stockholm syndrome. That's all. Stockholm syndrome. Willie Lynch, PTSD. He's going to allow that girl to have died unjustly because nothing's just about what happened. It was unfair. It was, what would you do if it was your daughter, family? I'm just saying nothing pretty would have come out of this situation. They need to arrest everybody that had a hand in that. Yes, they are. But guess what? They need to be dealt with. They need to be dealt with. Yes, and we start in September. Yes, we need to start teaching our own. Just like my granddaughter, she loves to do nails and hair, and I already know what she wants to do. I mean, we are preparing her now to own her own shop, to own her own. We're Yes, you can get a business degree, you know, to be able to learn how to run your shop, or you can work for somebody, or like work with somebody, and they can teach you while you're there working for them for maybe a year or 6 months to get the training that you need to understand how the books go, to understand how, to understand the book part of the business, or understand the business period. Work for them for maybe 6 months or a year, and she's going to have her own. My granddaughter will not ever have to work. I guarantee you that. I'm going to make sure of it. And I told her, you don't just need one, you need a couple. Okay, you need a couple. And she does kids nails now. She does hair. Okay, she's gonna braid my hair. I'm telling you, she's 11. This girl is 11 and can do braids. And people don't understand. It's a gift. And guess what? I see that gift and I work that gift, honey. I have my little toes out. I have my little nails out. She puts gel nails on on your feet, gel nails on your toes, gel nails on my nails, doing braid my hair. This is my little entrepreneur. If I see that gift, why wouldn't I want to expand on that gift? Why would I not see that gift and work it? I mean, we have to recognize our children and our grandchildren's gifts, and we have to walk them into that direction. My daughter saw her. She loved hair. She had mannequins around here. She was braiding hair. She went to take a braiding class. She's 11. My daughter put her in a braiding class, and now she knows how to braid. So every chance I get, come on, do my hair, and I pay her. She ain't doing it for free. I am teaching her how to be a business owner already. I am teaching her how to be a businesswoman. And guess what? She bought her first piece of silver. I'm just saying. She bought her first piece of silver. She did two of her girlfriend's hair and got $90 the other weekend. I'm just saying, this is what I'm saying. It is time for us to teach our own children how to be business owners. It is time for us to teach our children how to be business owners. We're not teaching my granddaughters, we're not teaching her how to stand behind somebody else's chair. We're teaching her how to run her own business. Yes, yes. It's time for us to know our gifts. It's time for us to walk out in it. It's time for us to do for self. It is time. And right now, we are still waiting for white supremacy Joe, Jim Crow Joe, and failure Kamala, or whole Kamala, or whatever her name is, whatever that woman name is. She's so fake. Y'all can't see that fakeness. It's so sad. Oh my God. It's so sad that we cannot, we're still back there in the 60s. We walk in fear. Oh my God, what if Trump get back in there? Oh my God, if y'all don't quit, I can't stand. When people tell me that, I'd be like, you got Satan in there, you want the devil in there. What's the difference? Okay, Satan and the devil, who's the worst? Who you're voting for Satan or the devil? Which one you voting for? It makes no sense when you talk like you scared to death of people. Oh my God, Trump is racist. I'm like, I'm looking at them like, are you serious? You think the Democrats are racist? Are you kidding? Do you know about the Clintons? Do you know about the Clintons? What he did in Haiti to those people? Haiti used to be the top notch. Am I kidding you guys? Haiti was top notch. Bill Clinton got in there and president, and he stripped Haiti of everything. He stripped Haiti of everything. Haiti darn near starving today. Do you hear me? Haiti can't stand the Clintons. It's darn near starving right now today. Everything out. Haiti was building everything in house in Haiti, right? And they were shipping it out. Clinton stopped all of that. The rice he shipped out. His brother in Arkansas sell them rice, and he didn't double the price. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, them Clintons. I'm telling you, them are the devil's children. Them white folk, you ain't gonna tell me them devils. They are. They saw how Haiti was growing. Haiti was one of the richest countries. Everything. Haiti was producing everything and shipping it out. Now Haiti ain't producing nothing. Haiti ain't producing nothing. And I'm looking at them. I'm like, we have to recession proof Haiti. We have to recession proof Africa. Africa has everything that they need. There is no reason for Africa to be struggling the way they're struggling. There's no reason for those people to be struggling the way that they're struggling. And that's the sad part. But I look and they say, oh, our leaders are bad. I said, it's not your leaders. It's the people that's controlling your leaders. It's the puppets. Your leaders are the puppets. You're looking at your leader and you're saying, oh, that black guy, and they want to make black folk look bad, but they're not looking at who's behind those leaders. And those the ones that's holding those puppet strings are not black people. Okay. But my thing is, we have to start looking at the history of the Democrats. We have to start looking at what have they done when Clinton was in office. Okay. When Obama was in office, what did we get out of the deal? We had a black man that was in office, and now we're getting ready to get only looking is black, black, blackity, black, black, black. How do we begin to recognize black folk if they're for us or not? How is it that we can start recognizing if they're going to have our backs? That's what we have to do. We have to start recognizing if these black people that like look like us, if they have a heart after us, if they're not B1 and if they're married to white folk, trust and believe me, they are not going to be B1. And when I say B1, I mean they're not going to have a heart after black folk, because that's not who they are. If they would have had a heart after black folk, they would be married to somebody black. You can't tell me somebody like Cornel West and this blows my mind because he's married to a white woman, right? How are you black first, and how are you? Oh my God, the civil rights for black people, and you're married to a white woman. That don't even look right. That don't even sound right to me. That just makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. You have to understand, we've got to change our mindset. Oh my God. And half of these people get on Facebook and I'm arguing with them about Carmela. I'm arguing with it. I don't mean to argue. I'm asking them leading questions because I want them to think. You're getting ready to vote. You're going back again to the Democratic Party that never did anything for you. Why? Why? Why not do independent? Why not do independent? If you want to vote, vote independently. Right? What's the NFAC man? He ran for president in 2016. He actually, and that's what they saying. He ran for president when Trump was running. 2016. What's his name? John J. Fitzgerald is his name. That's the NFAC man. He ran for president, and that's why people keep saying, "Oh, he was security for Trump." No, I keep telling people he wasn't Trump security. He was running for president, and he wanted to go out and see Trump in action. So he went to one of his rallies, right? And they saw him, and they moved him, and they put him because who was the private people, the private investigators with Trump, who was the little security, they saw him and they recognized him as being one of the presidential candidates. So they went over to him and said, "Hey, we want you to come over here and sit over here." And that's how he got close. But he wanted to actually debate Trump, and Trump would never debate him. He talks about that on his live. He has, he talks about all of that. But people say, "Oh, he was security for Trump." I'm like, no, dummies. He ran for president in 2016. Look it up. Oh, and what's the name of his website? One He has a website. I can't think of it. You put in John Fitzgerald presidency, it'll come up, and you'll be able to see that in 2016, this black man ran as independent, okay, for a presidential candidate, and he talked about all the money that was involved, and how if you're not Democrat or Republican, they will not allow you to debate. You have to do, it's a lot, to it, he was saying. So I mean, you talking about $250,000 that you could spend and still not win. $250,000. I just would not. But my thing is, you can use that you can go take $250,000, go to Africa and live really good. But like I said, we have to get to the place where we're changing our mindset, family. Why are we fighting to stay in a country that treat us like dogs? Are we that thirsty? Are we that thirsty for love? Are we that thirsty for our enemies to love us? Are we that thirsty for somebody to pat our head? Are we that thirsty? We act like little dogs? You can beat a little dog or whatever, and they come right back. What are we? Are you kidding? What is going on with black people that we can allow them to continuously murder us, continuously kill us, continuously, and we still will look up to them and smile and say, "I forgive you." What is that makes us look very weak when we have a mom that a police officer just shot your son 7 times in the back for him trying to get in his car because he wasn't in the fight. He didn't have nothing to do with the fight. He was breaking up a fight. He comes trying to get into his truck because he saw, okay, police is here, I'm gonna leave now. He comes around trying to get in his truck. They want to stop him, give me your ID, of course, because they thinking, okay, all black folk have warrants or whatever. So of course we're gonna, get all the black men's ID, because most of them are in the system, and it's like that on purpose. So yes, we know. So of course they wanted his ID probably. He's like, "I'm not giving you nothing because I have nothing to do with it. I'm getting ready to bounce." Okay, I could just hear. He was like, "I'm not doing that. I'm going home." He went to get in his car and got shot 7 times. Come on. But we don't understand that. We don't get it. We're not getting that through our heads. We're seeing them kill us every day. And what really bothers me, how I hear people talking negative about Africa. And I'm like, and me and my friend at work was talking, and he goes, "Cassie, why do you want to move to Africa?" I said, "Do they shoot? Do they shoot black people? Do police officers shoot black people in Africa?" He goes, "No." I said, "That's why, right there. That was all I need to hear." I'm tired of what I'm seeing. And I'm tired of seeing my people die. I'm tired of black folk acting so crazy that they keep doing stuff over and over. We keep voting. We keep doing stuff over and over that we've been doing for 60 years and no change. If you look back 60 years when we couldn't vote or when we started to vote, look at it now. Let me see. Okay, I'm trying to read some of the comments. That's right. But the sad part about it, why do we keep buying it? Septia, why? I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. I hope Septia, right? Why do we keep taking it? Um why do we keep doing this? Why do we keep believing it? How about that? Why do we keep believing it? I don't understand. Why is it that we keep believing what when they tell us, "Oh, we're gonna do this for you, we're gonna do," why do we believe it? Why do we keep believing it? I don't understand that. We fall for it every 4 years. And I'm gonna talk about this. We have a thing, what's the benign neglect? Okay. It was to ignore black people, but it was Nixon did like um he did like it was like a to research why black folk riot. Okay. And he did a research, he researched that. Well, he hired somebody to do it. And they said, "Stop promising black folk anything. When you promise black folk anything, and if you don't stick to that promise, that makes them riot." So that's why. Oh, Septia. Okay, Septia. Okay, I had it right, right? Okay. Thank you. Um, So that's why they stopped promising black folk anything, because they said when you promise black folk anything, you'll force them to riot. But right now, they're not promising us anything, but we're still rioting. But my thing is, are we looking back? And I ask people, are we looking back? When the people, I hear people talking about, oh, they're rioting. And my question is to them, why are we rioting? Where did it all start? Why did it start? Are we just rioting just to be rioting? Let's be honest. We are rioting for we are fighting for the same stuff that they were fighting for in 1963. Can you believe that? We've been fighting for police brutality. We've been fighting for justice. We've been fighting injustice. We've been fighting for what police brutality to stop. We've been fighting for the same stuff for 60 years. 63. What's that? 50, almost 60 years. What? And we've been voting for the same amount of time, but nothing has changed. So why do we continuously vote? Somebody said, well, each vote we get closer to whatever we get closer. What we getting closer to? It don't take but 2 minutes to write a law. It don't take but a second for the Black Caucus to write a law. And they had started. Remember, they started, but they stopped. They stopped in the middle. Remember when we were doing all that protesting, like, a few weeks ago? They was putting things on the book. They was putting down statues. They was putting stuff on books, right? But then they stopped. All of a sudden, it's like the Democrats looked at us and say, well, if you won't vote for us, then guess what? We're not going to help you. And that's exactly, but I'm going to tell you what, the Congress, the Black Caucus, we need to vote all of them out. Strange fruit, you need to run for office in wherever you are in your city. You need to run for Septia. You need to run for office. You need to run for mayor or city council. You need to run for office. And what we do, we have a fund. We need to set up a fund that we will support every Black person that runs, that is B1. We will support them, and everybody put like $10 away into a kitty. We have a kitty, and nationwide, we're going to supply, and we're going to protect, and we're going to supply financial help to everybody that runs for mayor, everybody that runs for city council. And we need at least 3 people on city council to run. So therefore, it'll be even. Okay, you can't have one person against 9 people. That's not gonna work. 3 people against, we can change some things then. But we have to start running for these offices, or we have to get out. I'm just saying, those are our 2 choices. Either we start running for offices and we change our situation locally, or we get out of America. I vote to get out of America. I don't want to spend enough, I don't want to invest no money here. I don't want my granddaughter to be raised here. I don't want I'm done. I want out. I want out. I don't want to be here anymore. And I don't think we should force ourselves. And I do believe that we're going to have one more again where the borders are going to open, and we need to be making our way. And I think right now we need to start changing our mindset to know that one of these days we might have to leave and never come back. Are you willing, or are you ready to do that? Or, hold on, or are you ready to die? Because if you don't go, you're going to die with your captors. We're going to die. You're going to die with them. If you don't leave, well, I'm sorry, when y'all open that door for you to leave, if you don't leave, you're going to die. I'm just saying, because he's in his word, he says 2/3 will die. And I don't read just the Bible. I read, there's several books, the Sefer, the Apocrypha. There's so many book of Enoch. There's so many different books that was taken out of the Bible. And if you read the book of Enoch, talks about the Nephilims that was here, the giants and that was here, and it really tells you where white folk are going and how they were created. All of this stuff, they were made, not created. People don't understand, how do white people get here? People have to understand that. It's so much to that story. It's so much to it, but we don't understand. We just think they were always here. They weren't. I'm just saying. But it's time for us to really yes, yes. That's what I say. I keep telling people, all we have to do is put money aside. And I'm saying $10. Yeah, all we have to do is put $10 aside. And say, for instance, if Strange Fruit wants to run for office or for mayor, and you find out who you're running against, you do your research, and you have 2 years and it's always 2 years out to prepare for running if you want to run for an office. Okay. I do believe that right now we need to be getting those black caucuses out of there. Nobody ever runs against them. They've held some of those people have been doing nothing for 30 years. Nothing. They've been doing that job for 30 years and they keep running and they are doing absolutely nothing. But yes, I'm serious. If we would do $10, just say for any, we can do it a month or we can do it every 2 weeks. Just put $10 aside every paycheck for that person that we want to. In 2 years, that person will have. Just say if that person had 10 people, I'm just guessing 10 people, and 2 years, $10. How much is that? All you need is $1,500 to run for office if you're going to do it locally. You don't need a whole, even if you had $2,000. Okay. If you had 10 people and you had 2 years to do this, I think you could do it. But we have to start putting money behind our people and we have to start standing behind our people because if somebody puts their neck on the line, like Paul, I'll never forget this Paul Howard in Georgia. It made me so mad when he lost that race and white folk did it on purpose because he was the one we talked about this. He was the one that did the police officer the police officer that shot Brooks, okay, the guy in the Wendy's parking lot. He was the one, that police officer shot Brooks, and he brought Brooks. Paul Howard brought Brooks up on felony charges, a lot of them. Those white folk got so mad. They said they were determined to get him out of office, right? Now he stuck his neck out and he put charges on that cop, right? What happened? Black folk didn't even come out to vote for him. He lost his seat to a Fannie Mae Willis, who was backed by the police union, who's going to take those charges off of that white guy, and who's not going to have your black backs in Georgia. And I blame Georgia for this because you could have held on to Paul Howard. You could have kept him in office. You could have came out and voted for him and protected him and showed white supremacy that we are going to stand behind anybody that stands up for us. We are going to protect them and we are not going to let you or anybody else take his seat because he stood up for us and we are going to look out for our own. Did we do that? No, we didn't. And it's so sad. It was so sad. Paul Howard stuck his neck out for black people and we didn't even cover him, which was so pathetic. And this is why a lot of people don't step out for black people because they know if I put my neck on the line, black folk ain't gonna back you, honey. Because white folk, if sneeze too hard, they're gonna be yes, massa. Nope, I don't know her. Didn't do it. Nope. I don't know. I ain't had nothing to do with it. Nope. I don't know nothing. They ain't see nothing. I don't hear nothing. And you know that's true. You know we'll act like that. We'll act just as dumb. We'll play just as dumb and lie to the end. And they could have caught your hand in the cookie jar. I ain't had my hand in the cookie. I ain't had no cookie. It could be all in your mouth, the chocolate all around your mouth, and you still lying. And you know black folk will not stand up for anybody. But Paul Howard, I'll never forget, he was the Georgia DA, and he stood up for us, and we did absolutely nothing for him. We did not cover him. We have to get to the point where we're covering our own, you guys. If somebody stands up for us, the least we can do is come out and vote for the man and keep him in office to let him finish the process. We were supposed to vote for it. We were supposed to cover him. We were supposed to stand behind him. We were supposed to cover him, and we didn't. Why would we cover him? He stuck his neck out for us, and we chopped his neck off. And now we left him, and he lost the race. Fannie Mae Willis has got her little hand-pecked coon butt in there, and she's not going to do anything for black people because the union, the police union, is backing her, and the attorney for the police funded her. So that should be illegal right there. It's got to be something sketchy about that anyway. But the police union is backing her, and anybody the police union is backing is not going to have black folk back. I'm telling you now. So for us to not support Paul Howard, who's going to be the next person that's going to be brave enough to stand up for black folk? Nobody. Because guess what? We don't stand up for them. If we don't cover them, why would they cover us? Why would they stand up for us? Why would anybody else stand up for us after seeing what happened to Paul Howard? If we could promise them that if you support us, we will support you. If we did that, we would have more people standing up. But that's not something we do. We won't support anybody else. We won't support. That's the sad part about it. They'll do whatever. That man put his neck on the line, and we did absolutely nothing about it. We didn't thank him. We didn't appreciate him. We just, okay, well, thanks. We didn't even say thank you. We just went on about our business, which is so sad because I think that we should have supported him. We had another Judge Stevens, that I think he was the one that Kenneth, Brianna's boyfriend, he was the judge, and I think his term is coming up. And I hope and pray that we support him because he was the judge that allowed Taylor's boyfriend to be released out of jail. He said no. He saw the case, heard the case, and he released that man, and they had to drop the charges, and they dropped the charges. But so yeah, we have to understand that it's time for us to really support other people. It's time for us to support people who support us. So my thing is, until we understand that we have issues that we need to work on, and we have to stop waiting for other people to support us. We have to stop waiting for other people because it's not going to help. White supremacy don't care if you. My granddaughter came in here, interrupted my feed here. No, we don't want you to be on. I'm sorry, you guys. That's okay. Okay. I'm sorry, you guys. My granddaughter. Ain't she something? Thank you. That's my baby. But we have to stop waiting for white supremacy to do what we can do for ourselves. And that's the sad part about it. I don't know what is it going to take for us to put a little fire up under us. What's it going to take for us to want to do better for us? One, we have to know that nobody cares enough, or nobody is going to do what we can do for us. We can't wait for other people. We can't just, people thinking, oh, if I vote, it's going to be okay. Or if I do this, it's going to be okay. No, if we vote, you're voting for people that don't even think twice about you. Harris she's not even saying she's black, but she did get on a live with Monica and Brandy and was trying to promote her election or promote her candidacy or campaign. But my thing is, you had 1 million black folk, and not one question was brought to her about reparations. Not one question did anybody ask as far as what are you going to do for black people? Not one question. I mean, you had 1 million black folk, and nobody could ask a question. Everybody was so in tune to Brandy and Monica or whoever. I think that's the two people that was doing the little sing off or whatever they call it. I don't know what they call it. But she came into that live and nobody asked her any questions about what's your plan for black people? What's your plan? Just not a plan for minorities. What's your plan for just black people? She already showed you nothing. We already understood that. But nobody has asked her since. Are you still, but guess what? She already told you. So why would we continue to ask her what's her plan when she already told you, I'm not going to do anything just for black people. So why are you giving her your free vote? Oh my God, we're doing a fear tactic. We're so afraid of Trump. What can he do that, come on, that the Democrats have not already done to you? I'm just asking a question because I don't know why they think that Trump is so much more racist than the Democrats. The Democrats are the worst ever. The Democrats are the one that have done the most harm to black folk. We don't understand that, do we? Have we done our homework to really see the Democratic Party, to really understand the harm that they've done? Have we done our homework? I'm just saying, it's things that's going on now that, I mean, how can he hurt you any more than Joe Biden has hurt you? He put half our men in jail. Carmela, whatever did, she put the other half in jail. So now what? It's time for us to do better. It's time for us to get our head out of the sand or out of our butts or something. It's time for us to be honest and truthful with us. It's time for us to really ask some really serious questions about the Democrat Party, about the Republicans, about any of them. It's time for us to really ask some really hard questions and be honest with ourselves. We're not being honest. We're not asking any questions. We've not put an agenda in front of anybody. And somebody said, Obama said, well, black folk didn't make me do anything for them. Well, did the Indians? I don't recall the Indians making you do anything, but you gave them $3 million, 3.3 million. I don't recall the LGBT asking you, but yeah, they did because they supported Obama. Nobody knows George Soros supported Obama, which we know he's gay. Okay, so he supported Obama, but he had to make do the same sex marriage thing. He had to legalize that, and that was what they backed him, but he had to do that for them backing him, for them paying his way through. I'm just saying. But Obama said we didn't ask him for nothing. And people they say that they said we didn't ask Obama for nothing. I'm like, well, the white folk ain't asking Trump for anything, but he giving them everything, right? I'm just saying. NRA didn't ask for anything, but they put money behind their people. We have to start putting money behind our people. We have to start supporting them financially in order for them to do or to want to do anything for us. We don't put money behind anybody. We just give them our vote and we keep moving and we hope and pray that they're going to, do something for us. Please, can you remember us this time? You forgot us last time. Oh, I'll get you the next time. And then the next time coming, we go, you got to remember us this time. And they, yeah, we're going to get your vote. And then they ignore you another 4 years. And then they come back. Can I have your vote again? You got to remember us this time. We don't even ask that. We just, oh, yeah, you can have our vote. I know you didn't do anything for me last time, but maybe you'll do, maybe I'm hoping and praying you're going to do something for me this time. Well, it's time to stop hoping and praying. I'm just saying. It's time for us to stop hoping and praying. It is time for us to do for self. It's time for us to do for self. That's the sad part about it. Okay. It's going to take us freeing us. If we don't do something for us, we can't expect anybody else to do anything for us. Obama didn't do anything for us. So Trump is looking at us and Republicans looking at us and half the white folk on earth looking at us and say, well, you want us to do what? Obama, your own kind didn't do anything for you. But they knew Obama wasn't going to do anything for us. They knew Obama was a chump. They knew he was a coon. They knew it. They put him out there. They wouldn't have never allowed Obama to get in office if they thought he was going to do something for his own. They would have never, ever, 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 ever put him in office if they thought he was going to do something for y'all. I'm just saying. So people that make excuses for Obama, you can stop making excuses. Let me see. Let me read some of these comments. I don't like the term minority. This puts everyone under the same umbrella, and yes. Because even when you see the minority, the LGBT, and they go, oh, we went through the same thing as slavery and black folks. And I'm like, no, 1 million of you guys didn't die. 1 million slaves died. When people talk about COVID, I said, guess what? It's still not 1 million. 1 million black folk died in slavery. So talk to me when COVID get to 1 million white folk, then we'll have, we'll be even. But until then, we still won't be even because they didn't go through the horrible, the traumatizing, and the anger, and the hatred, and the just. I mean, black folks have really gone through hell and back in these Americas. I don't care what nobody say. Praying, marching, and singing will not do it. Obama was prepped, yes, for 2000. Yes, he was. He was. And then, you know what? So sad about it. He didn't do anything for 4 years, and we gave him another 4. He did nothing for 8 years for us. Eight. And now he's still trying to come in there and put little racist Biden in there. Why do you think he put Biden in there after Biden made the Biden law? He still turned around and made him his vice president. But we weren't woke at the time, you guys. This is showing you that we're woke. This is now black folk are waking up nationwide. So this is how you know that things are changing. Because I remember when Obama picked Biden, nobody said anything about Biden's law. Nobody said anything about Biden. Nobody even questioned why he picked Biden. We were just glad to have a black man because we just knew Obama was going to do something for us black folk. And when he didn't do anything, we were like, okay, we're going to give him 4 more years. Maybe he'll do it next year. Maybe he'll do it the next year. Maybe he'll do it the next. And he still, 4 years came and went. Another 4 years came and gone. He's out of office and we still sitting on E. No generational wealth, no nothing. We got absolutely nothing, but everybody else got something. The LGBT got freedom to marry each other, and the Indians got $3 million, and they got casinos, and they got some FCC, and they never have to apply for another casino permit ever again because they get all the casinos they want. And I'm just saying, then you know how much money those casinos make daily. They make money. I'm just saying. But you have to understand, Obama said black folk didn't make him do nothing for them. I don't know what we're supposed to make him do because white folk, they just automatically know I'm going to do this, and this. Well, Acosta, is that Mexican lady? When she got the over New York, when she got in office, she let everybody know I am Latino first. I am Latino first. Did she not? I am Latino. She told people I am Latino first, but she had black folk under her that helped her to get in office. What she never mentions black folk because we the only one holler brown and black folk. Brown, we us black and brown, black and brown, black and brown. But then Mexicans, do they ever mention black and brown? Ever? No, we the only ones mention black and brown. You know what, you guys? I don't know. It's gonna take some time, but I do think that this contract was a good job. It's a start, but I really do believe because, like I said, it talks about the Federal Reserves and it talks about the government pensions and qualifying Black America Federal Reserves allow one-time interstate free loans for home ownership. The Fed to ensure, but you have to understand, you guys, we getting ready to go through this in recession, inflation. Right now, I wouldn't even want to check for them. If we're going to get reparations, it has to be in gold and silver. And land, we've got to choose our own land, but gold and silver. I'm just saying, I don't want money because the money is getting ready to go out. And if they offer us money right now, you have to understand it's not going to be for the good of us. It's going to be because they know that they're getting ready to get rid of money. They get the fiat. There, it's going to be no more. We are going to the gold and there now. They might try to do the digital at first. If we are smart, we won't go digital because if you go digital, they'll have too much control over your finances. So if that's a choice, we're going to say no to digital and we're going to continue on to the gold and silver. Okay, because that's where you get your wealth. Because gold and silver is going to be at a point where your silver, if you have one piece of silver, it's going to be worth $5,000 to $7,000. So if you have 100 of those, go figure that out. And you take that to Africa. You think you can't open your own business? You think you can't live in Africa? You think you can come up with your own business out of, even if you got 10 of those silver coins? Five to $7,000 times 10 is what? I'm just saying, this is a way for us to start over with our wealth, you guys. Always think about what's your future? How can you retire early? We want to retire. We're done working. I think everybody at 45, 50 should be retired. Let me read my comments. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Uh-uh. Um, laying taxes, yeah. Free education. I don't even want free education. I want to be gone. I want my money to be gone. I don't want to stay in America. You give me reparations, I'm out of here tomorrow. I'm gonna be on the first plane smoking. I'm done. I want to be on somebody's island somewhere. I want to get some peace. I can handle them Chinese. I won't even see because you have to understand a lot of Chinese. They're in certain parts of Africa, and I'll be in a part where they're not because I don't want to be bothered with Chinese because I think they're the most racist devils ever. I'm just saying they are so racist and they really do believe that the Africans are beneath them. And so I don't understand how those African women are marrying those Chinese, but that's another story for another day. But yeah, we'll talk about that. But my thing is, at least we're not dying over there. At least they're not killing us. At least the police aren't blowing you away. At least you can have a peace of mind, you guys. I'm serious. I've seen so many videos as far as American men moving to Africa, and they said right now it's the best thing they could have done because they don't feel like a target is on their head. They don't feel like they want to die. They don't feel like they're any moment now they're going to die. They don't feel like when the police in Africa get behind them that they're going to die. They don't feel like if they're walking that they're going to die. I mean, it's just they don't feel that threat of death all the time. Being in America, you feel like you're going to die any day now. Seriously, any day now you feel that you're going to die. But I am so appreciative of you guys joining me today. I didn't want to, Thursday is a 2-hour show, Blog Talk. I do appreciate you guys joining me. I do appreciate you guys, Broad Talk. We're going to do this again next Thursday, but we're also going to do this on Tuesdays. I'm trying to make it to where I can do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays, it'll be 7 o'clock for an hour, but Thursdays, it is a 2 hour show on Blog Talk Radio. But we're going to have different shows, different topics. If you guys want to talk about anything special, um, let's do it. Let's talk about. I'm just trying to make it, just make it, just wake Black folk up. That's the thing that's what my gift is right now. It's about me trying to wake up my people, because I know that we're not going to be here. This thing is, we are, the next 3 months is going to be very crucial to us. It's going to be very crucial, but I don't think we know how crucial it's going to be, because we don't understand where we are on the calendar, where we are in the Bible, where we are in Revelations, because a lot of Black folk don't think that the Bible is talking to them or about them. But we have to understand that it was written for us and to us, and we have to understand that. Okay. Um, I am so appreciative of you guys joining me. We're going to do this again. But with that said, Blog Talk, YouTube, I appreciate everybody that tuned in. I hope I'm saying something that is pricking your heart. I hope I'm saying something that's causing you to think. I hope I'm saying something that's making you go, yeah. Just maybe the light bulb is coming on. Maybe one of these shows, the light bulb will come on, and we'll be like, oh, let's do it different. Let's do it like this. Let's not do it like this. But I do appreciate everybody that joined. Everybody that tuned in, even the people that are going to tune in after the show is done. I do appreciate you guys. I do appreciate you guys taking your time out, because you could have been doing some other things, but you stayed with me 2 hours. Thank you guys. With that said, we're going to call it a night. Peace, family. Thank you.